Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. I'm Jamie. Let's get crafting. Okay, so for this first project, I have these two pieces of fabric that I picked up from Hobby Lobby. And right now, Hobby Lobby, at least when I got these, all their fabric is like 30% off. So good deal on these. So I got about 18 inches for each fabric. And I'm going to go ahead and use this Dollar Tree sign. I'm just using it as a template. Super cute, but I'm just using it as a template, and all I'm going to do is just take my pencil and I'm going to trace the heart over top of my fabric. Now don't worry about pencil marks, you're not going to see this, but I do have the pink fabric underneath the fabric with the arrows on it. That way when I go to cut everything, it's just I don't have to cut twice. I only need to cut once, if you understand what I'm saying here. So this fabric is really nice. It's definitely like that baby blanket material. I don't know if that's still considered fleece or not. I was really trying to go for fleece, but anyway, considering this is Valentine's Day DIYs, this is what I went. So the next step that you want to do that I thought I had filmed it and apparently I did not, was that I had taken my ruler, and if you can see the lines, I made pencil lines at different points of this heart. I got on the top, the bottom, and a couple points on the side. They're 2-inch markings for two reasons. The first reason, as you see here, I am basically freehanding another heart inside of this heart. You're not going to see the pencil marks, so don't worry about, making these marks and it showing or anything like that. The second reason is if you have ever made a knot blanket, then you'll know what I'm going for. We're actually making a no-sew knot pillow, heart-shaped pillow. So the 2-inch markings is so that you can see, it kind of gives you a guide for when you make your cuts. And also I'm trying to hit the points so that I can make a proper looking heart. So I am going to speed this up in just a second here. I just kind of wanted to explain what I had done. What am I doing now? And so that is the reason why. And so now I'm just going to go in with my scissors and I'm going to go ahead and make those 2-inch cuts. So I'm just using the first lines I was telling you about as a guide. And for these cuts, you want to cut your strips at a minimum of 2 inches. Now, I made 2 of these. The first heart I did, I only did 1.5 inches. I was following directions that I had found on Pinterest. The problem is that with 1.5 inch strips, you can't really you can tie a knot. I did it, but you're going to struggle. At a minimum, I felt that 2-inch strips were the best way to go. I can only really get one knot out of it. If you feel that double knotting your heart-shaped pillow, or whether it's a blanket or whatever shape that you're doing, if you feel more comfortable doing a double knot, you're going to want 3-inch strips. But if you do that, you're going to want a bigger template than that Dollar Tree sign that I had showed you, if that makes any sense. So that when you go to make your second shape, your second heart in the center, it's going to get smaller, if you know what I mean. So that is what I'm doing here, and I'm working in sections. I am just gonna cut, I don't know, I cut a bunch of different strips, I don't know, maybe 8, and then I just go in, knot those ones, and then I cut some more, knot those, and so on and so on. So the next thing you want to do is fill up your heart-shaped pillows with some polyfill. Now I had picked up this polyfill from Walmart. I know Hobby Lobby carries them too, but Walmart has them for like, I don't know, $3, $4, $5, something like that. Looks just like this. So just, and a little bit goes a long way. So that's a really big bag for a very small amount of money. And I just fill up my heart-shaped pillows. Now, something that I'm going to recommend is that when you get to the very end of your heart, before you fill your pillows, finish your cuts. Obviously don't tie them because you need to put your polyfill in there, but at least finish your cuts. Now, because I found this to be a pain in the butt, was that after I was done filling my pillow, and I had to go and make my cuts, it throws the pillow off a little bit. So when I was still able to make my cuts just fine, it was just a little bit more of a struggle. So just a little recommendation, finish your cuts, fill your pillow, and then you can tie your knots. Also, just something else I'm going to also recommend is that if you're doing now these pillows are just purely decorative. We're not sleeping on them. I'm not putting them on, I don't know where I'm going to set them. They're just decorative. So I was only able to do one knot with these pillows and it's going to work just fine. But now, just keep in mind that when you're working, you don't want to like tighten your knots down too tight right away because it's going to bunch up the fabric and it might throw your fabric off just a tiny bit. It actually did happen to me, which is why I am just letting you know, just don't tighten your knots. Wait until you're finished with the pillow and then you can go back in and tighten them down where you see. But yeah, so I really love how these turned out. They are so stinking cute. For this next DIY, I'm going to start off with 4 of these Dollar Tree signs. And after I cut the tag and the strings off, I'm going to take my sanding sponge and remove all glitter. Next, I'm going to be using this metallic Gunmetal Gray acrylic paint by Folk Art, and I give all 4 of these signs 2 coats of paint. And also, just to show you, I do paint the edges of these signs as well. Next, I'm going to be using the white and the elephant chalk paint and my stencil brush. And I would start with the elephant chalk paint and my stencil brush, and I'm just going to be dabbing the paint all over this because I'm trying to go for a galvanized look, so it looks like more like a metal sign. And so I just dab, 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 and just to spare you, I only show you one of the signs that I do, but I do all 4. And then once I'm done with all 4 of the elephant chalk paint, then I go back in and do the white chalk paint. Once those are nice and dry, I'm going to go in with these Walmart window clings. Window clings. They were about 98 cents. Super cute. Love the buffalo check. And then I wanted to show you that the background of the window decals, I was trying to achieve that look on the signs, and I think I pretty much came close to it. So each one of my Dollar Tree signs are going to get a letter, and O for love is going to be the heart that says Happy Valentine's Day. And so that's pretty much all I'm doing right now is I'm just taking off the letters and I'm placing one on each sign. Now to secure my window clings onto my signs, I'm going to go ahead with a nice coat of Mod Podge. So first thing I do is I'm going to take the letter off, put a nice coat of Mod Podge on the sign, and then I'm going to put the letter back on it and then Mod Podge over top of that. What was nice about this project, because I didn't go too heavy of a coat with the Mod Podge, this really only took about an hour to dry. So next I'm going to use the black Dollar Tree ribbon that I've had in my stash, and I want to connect my signs using this ribbon. So the first thing I do is I'm going to flip my signs over, and I'm going to use my ruler as a guide to space them evenly apart. And the two high points of the sign that I want to make sure that they are pretty much like right underneath of each other. I start off with using the thicker side of my ruler, but later on you'll see that I just changed my mind and did like the thinner side of my ruler. And so I'm just spacing them evenly apart, and then I'm going to cut 3-inch strips of my ribbon. To attach my ribbon, I'm going to use my brand new Sure Bonder cordless hot glue gun. So excited to have this. I got it for Christmas, and this is not a paid promotion. This is not sponsored by Sure Bonder in any way. I wish it was, but it is not sponsored. I just wanted to show you something awesome that I got for Christmas, something I've been wanting for a while. So as you see here, I am just cutting my ribbon into 3-inch strips. So I'm just attaching my ribbon with the glue gun in a vertical line, and when I get to the very top, because I want to be able to hang this, I just go ahead and make one big loop, and I tied a little bow tie. It's just one of those simple little bows, just like tying your shoe, to attach in the at the very top, and then you're going to see what this looks like in the end. For this last DIY, I start off using one of these little shadow box things from Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to go ahead, after removing the plastic, I wanted to originally paint it in that metallic paint that you've seen in the last DIY, but it wasn't working out because with acrylic paint, you cannot cover those letters up very well at all. So, changed my mind, went in with the black chalk paint, and I was able to do just one coat over this circle and just the outer part of the box. Now I removed the circle from the inside, and all that was left there was that little square. There is no way to get that thing off. And I should have done this before I painted everything, but it is what it is. So since I can't remove that little square, I'm just going to have to work around it. So I found this scrapbook paper over at Hobby Lobby, and I'm going to go ahead and trace the outside of my shadow box, and I'm going to cut that down. Now, when you are trying to fit scrapbook paper inside of your project, you're going to have to trim it down a lot more than the outside of the shadow box. And I'm sure a lot of you have probably already experienced this. So you're going to see me cut this square out, but then I do have to trim down a lot in order for it to fit inside my shadow box. So once I got that all squared up, I'm going to just using my fingers to trace along that square that's inside of there, and just kind of pushing just so I can see where I need to cut so that I can put my paper over top of it. So now, just using my Elmer's glue stick, I'm just going to go ahead and apply some glue to the back of my paper. This is a great alternative to using Mod Podge all the time, and I don't have to really wait for it to dry. So just putting a good amount of glue on the back of my paper, and then I'm going to slip it over the little square and press it down. And then I'm just going to go ahead and hot glue the circle back onto the square. So next I'm just going to use my Dollar Tree Valentine ribbon that I had gotten last year, and I'm pretty sure that they have it again this year. So I'm just going to hot glue it around the edges of my shadow box, and I'm going to go around two of the sides because I really want my hearts to be going in one direction. So I put just a dab of hot glue instead of like a bead of hot glue because I want it to go right behind the hearts because I don't want the hot glue to bleed through the ribbon. So I strategically put the hot glue right behind the hearts, just a couple dabs here and there. Then when I do the two sides, I'm going to cut it, flip my ribbon around so that I can have the hearts going the other direction on the other side. So the last thing I do is use the same window clings as earlier before. I was going to use the Happy Valentine's Day heart, but I chose the You and Me heart because I thought that was so stinking cute. And I'm gonna put this in the center of the circle, but I'm gonna use some Mod Podge uh, to secure it in place. So I do a nice coat of Mod Podge first, put the heart on there, and then put a little bit more Mod Podge on that. And since I didn't do too much of a heavy coat, this really took maybe about an hour or so for it to dry, and then it was ready to go on my tier tray. That is it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know down in the comments section which one was your favorite. Also, don't forget, link down in the description box below will be a link to my new channel, so don't forget to subscribe over there as well as over here. And as always, I will see you next time. Y'all have a wonderful, blessed day. Bye.